The influx of West African migrants into Europe is only now beginning to gain momentum. The migrants are primarily young men tasked with supporting their families in Africa.
Yeah, I want to go to Europe.
I want to go to Europe to make money and come back to Gambia. That's what half of all Gambians think, until they attempt a deadly escape or realize that their vision of Europe as a land of happiness is a fairy tale.
We have
many young people who are migrating to go to Europe. As for me, I've tried several times. I've tried by land and I've tried by boat too. So, I've tried both. So, I have the experience. So, I'd like to say, even to my enemy, I don't wish you to try that journey because it's a very risky journey. The Gambia is often described as the smiling coast of Africa. It is a country of open, friendly people with strong ties to family and community. Many tourists highlight the hospitality and cheerfulness of the locals. On land, Gambia is surrounded by Senegal. Residents of the region often move freely between these countries, and then, near the town of Barra in the Gambia, they set out for the Atlantic coast. This is where the main migration route runs. Under cover of night, the boat sets out from the Gambia River, sailing along the coasts of Senegal, Mauritania, Western Sahara and Morocco, eventually reaching Europe. They sail relatively far from the shore, far enough not to be seen from land, but not so far as to enter shipping lanes. Migration from West Africa to Europe has reached a scale in recent years that cannot be ignored. It is no longer about asylum for people fleeing war. The problem has become mass, illegal economic migration. Those leaving West African countries are mainly young, healthy, military-aged men. They aren't fleeing the front lines of war, they're going in search of a better life. They know that even if they don't get asylum, a European country will provide them with shelter, food and benefits during their lengthy procedure. At this moment, 7,000 people are waiting for boats that will attempt to transport them to Europe.
If you want to build a big mansion,
I want to help my parents here in Gambia. If you want to build a big mansion to help your family, you have to leave to go to Europe. If I go there, I'll be a truck driver, I'll be a carpenter. If you want, you can go and learn plumbing too.
Go and do gardener.
Many young men from Gambia, Senegal or Mali do not set out for Europe on a whim. They save up for the journey for years. They sell land, livestock and boats and go into debt with relatives. Entire families invest in a single person. Usually a young, able-bodied man, hoping that once he reaches Europe, he will start sending money and support to the family. They don't say they're stuck in camps or living on the streets. They talk about the positive things happening in their lives to show people here that everything is okay with them. That's why this whole scheme keeps going. Boats have been leaving here every day for the past 2 months. There was a day when as many as 5 such boats set out. This particular one ended up like this off the coast of Gambia. There were 96 people in this boat. The smugglers sold them a leaky boat that had travelled only a few dozen kilometres. Their life savings were lost. They were scammed.
If you have a good
captain, maybe you'll make it to Europe. But there are certain people, they're criminals. They take people's money. They just hang about around at sea. 2 to 3 days later, they come and drop you off. Some people, they drop them off around Senegambia, Port Kalogok. You know, they drop them off around Senegambia. They tell them like, okay, there's some problem with the boats. Yeah, there's no problem. They just want your money. The cost of crossing the Sahara and then the Atlantic or the Mediterranean is often the equivalent to several years' worth of income for them. If the boat doesn't make it, the money is lost. If a migrant is detained and deported, they return with nothing, no savings, no dignity and a sense of failure. In the local community, the pressure weighs heavily on him. He was supposed to be the one who makes it. Instead, he returns in debt. This situation breeds frustration, a sense of humiliation and anger. In some circles, this can lead to involvement in petty crime or smuggling, as there are few legal avenues to rebuild one's fortune. We're the kind of people who like to walk around, so we headed towards the abandoned hotel. We wanted to see what it looked like. A local ran past us, just like all the others. A moment later, he turned back and asked us to sit down, politely at first. That's when it started, because he was really insisting on me, and I kept saying no. And then he pulled out a knife from his pocket.
Stwierdziłam, że nie, i on wtedy wyciągnął z kieszeni nóż.
It was literally a split second before he grabbed our pouch and ran off with it into an old hotel. Before I even started running, I was shouting at him to at least give me back my passport. Luckily, He only took the money out of the pouch and left behind the passport and the phone, along with the torn pouch.
Paszport i telefon z rozerwaną saszetką wyrzucił.
If someone doesn't know what to do with themselves, they flee to Europe in search of a land of milk and honey. Here, like everywhere else, it's possible to make money. It just requires a little effort. That means he's been working all day on the beach for years, making juices for tourists. He has no shortage of work or money.
Me, good here.
Yeah, for me, I'm good here. I have my work every day, you know. I earn some money every day, so I'm good, you know. I just want to go there, visit there, have an experience, yeah. Because I feel it's nice. Africa is nice. Africa is blessed. We have the best weather, you know. Yeah. After his attempts to escape, Pate met Agnieszka. He works for her as a driver and earns several times more than the average Gambian. It was her help and this job that made him stop thinking about escaping to Europe and realize that you can live well anywhere with a bit of effort.
Before, I was having the concept that
Before, I had the idea that if you just go to Europe, you'll make it. You'll have a lot of money, you'll have millions. But things aren't like that because that's only the idea we have. When we go, we think we're changing to a better life, but I think we can all make it work here in Gambia if we try. Maybe you can try the legal route with a visa and go. But the back way, I wouldn't recommend anyone try that. The biggest problem is not just migration itself, but the selling of the myth of an easy European prosperity. It's a myth that destroys people financially and mentally, both those who don't make it and those who did but discovered that there is no paradise for them to escape to.